Sorry. My bad. I don't know what it is about the what do you call it? Countdown music. I always kind of mock it as I'm coming in, but only difference is that time you caught me. Yep. Well, about froze did. I'm telling you. I've ran a fever for like the last 2 days. I don't know what the hell is going around up here, but I've managed to catch it. It's not like I'm not dying or anything, but like I've had a fever and a nasty headache and like really sore throat and like labored breathing for I want to say 2 to 3 days now. They say that like there's this funk going around. I will never forget the dildo. Hashtag justice for dildo. Um, yeah, I'm gonna have to do that. Just give me a second. Where's my hashtag thing? Oh, I almost spilled dough. But anyway, I have felt like crap, which is the reason I did not come on last night. And if I have to like cough and shit, please excuse me. I've got this flu thing, whatever the fuck it is. Um, we don't really know. It's just some kind of virus that's going around these parts. So I'm just gonna be transparent and tell you if I'm wheezy or I sound like shit, it's because I've got some kind of fucking virus. Joy, joy. But I'm fine. I just feel like crap. I don't know what it is. People are saying like everybody's coming down with whatever this is up here. Like it's been rampant up here for some reason. Easy Street. Here's something else. I'm good. I slept all night last night. I was not in the mood for coming on here. Like the headaches eased off a lot, but like I still feel like crap. I'm feeling a little better than I did last night though. Basically, I'm just treating it with freaking ibuprofen, which I shouldn't be taking because it's an NSAID, but that's the only thing I've felt helped my fever at all. So the catch 22, it hurts my stomach, but it helps my fever. That's great. Hey, Ada Wolf. It's good to see you. Long time no see. Um. Anyway, so I'm gonna stop jabbering. Take my vitamins. Dean, unfortunately for me, vitamins won't help me. I'm never gonna get any bigger. And I got lied to as a child because I got told if you take your vitamins, yeah, like this is taking everybody down easy. But I got lied to. I got told if I took my vitamins, I would grow up to be big and strong. I am neither big nor strong. They lied to me. I am not 5 foot tall, and I'm a tiny little shrimp. I'm a tiny, tiny person. Little bitty person. Okay? I got lied to. I feel jaded. Like, I feel like I took my vitamins and I got promised that I would be big and strong, and I'm only 5 foot. Like, I'm not even 5 foot tall. I used to be 5 foot tall, and I seem to have shrunk. Like, this is bullshit. I'm just saying. Yes, but I got told if I took my vitamins, because I didn't like taking them, I got told that I would grow up. Comfortable and active all winter long. I would grow up. Like, up would mean like that insinuates I would get tall. That would be a little difficult. Easy street for various reasons. You really can't sue somebody in the afterlife. My dad would come back and be like, "Are you seriously suing me for this?" But like, this isn't fair because I was told I would be big and strong. I am not 5 foot tall, and I'm a tiny human, and this is bullshit. I'm just saying. I would like to file my complaint with the vitamin department for not making me more than 5 foot tall. Okay? Justice for Panda. Yeah. Hashtag justice for Panda because she's short. I mean, it seems reasonable. I'm such a dick. Okay, so we're gonna watch some stupidity. Um, as we normally do. We're usually looking at something stupid. I would ask you referring to, and that was the stupidest shit I think I have ever seen in my life. How are you going to sue your parents for being born? Like, really? I mean, yeah, they could have used a condom, but fuck. Just be grateful. Jesus. Okay. Um, we're gonna watch this because this is funny as hell. Wait, before I do that, let me post the link to their channel. California rules. Clearly. Justice for Panda. Thank you, Ada Wolf. You've got my back. um, apparently I be out here scamming too, and I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. How do you... How, I don't understand stupidity. I don't even post my shit 90% of the time. Bitch, please. You run a fundraiser every time you fucking fart. I farted. Pay all my bills. Get out my face. Anywho. So what we're going to be looking at today is stupid shit. Apparently, psychics and mediums fake shit. Who would have thought that? I know I did. There's been a few mediums and quote unquote psychics. I say that sarcastically for a reason. I have rarely ever seen a legitimate TV medium or TV psychic person that was legitimate. I think I may have seen one in the hundreds of thousands that have come through, maybe one. And that's a strong maybe. So, like, come on, dude. Like, Hollywood doesn't need to touch everything. Some things Hollywood needs to leave the fuck alone. Like mediums, psychics, and paranormal stuff. If they're just gonna fake evidence. Get out of the light. Why are you fucking on me? Stop it.
Never in the history of the world has a psychic solved a missing child case. Never.
Psychic shows like the Long Island Medium possess an editing room advantage in which they can take all of their misses over a several hour-long recording, show only the hits, and wow their audience. What happens when they go outside this comfort zone, appearing on other people's shows, particularly live shows? Well, our brains are still wired towards confirmation bias, where we focus on the hits and ignore the misses. That is, until we start to look for the misses, for the psychic cringe thing. It's just going to get tedious. So to save you time, I put together a compilation of just that. This is part 1. Enjoy.
Who lost the spouse? I think I'm right. I'm right here. Your wife is departed? Is that her wedding ring?
Dude. Let me explain something to you guys. Yeah, the Karen haircut. All this is statistics and lucky guesswork. If you have a room, say you have a room full of 40 people, and you think about this logically, one person out of that 40 people probably lost a loved one or spouse at some point in their life, especially when that age group ranges anywhere from 40 to 90. The likelihood that somebody lost a spouse is pretty high. That's just basic statistics. So all you gotta do is like lucky guess in some right answers that are just coincidentally like similar. Like you take every person that lost a spouse that you know of, and all you gotta do is common deduction and think what these people have in common, and you say that to this person, and they're gonna think, oh, they must be real because they guessed that I felt this way. No, that person's met hundreds of thousands of widows, and you all have the same things in common, so that was a lucky guess. She's not psychic because she knows that you miss your spouse that passed away. I'm pretty sure that anyone who loses a spouse is going to miss and love them. Doesn't take a psychic to tell you that. They do, and I love that episode. It's legit.
No, it's my mother's.
Do you still have her chair?
No.
Or did she have an issue with her leg?
No, it's my mother. Oh, do you still have her chair? No. She got nothing right. The laws of deduction? The scientific term for what? Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
Legs prior to her passing.
No.
Was there an issue with the legs where your husband was bed restriction? Is that correct?
So you'll always know when you talk to a family.
Oh, bed restriction. Was there a chair? I'm gonna randomly throw out that somebody knows somebody in the wheelchair right now. Fail. She didn't get anything right. I love that for her.
Remember, when you start a case, you'll know if this person is dead or alive every time. Does this girl look familiar too? She does.
I hate, and I quote, hate people like her. These are the fucking leeches. And I'm sorry, you can get mad at me if you want to. I don't care. But when you prey on the families of the people who have gone missing for your own financial gain, fuck you. You don't know. One, they may not be dead, and that person may stop looking for their loved one because you've convinced them that their loved one is dead. Number two, what if they are dead and you're keeping that person's hopes alive that they're going to find their loved one alive somewhere living in fucking Kokomo? It's not okay. These people are parasites. And not all mediums and not all psychics do this. But the ones who do are vile pieces of shit. There were multiple, and I do mean multiple, quote unquote psychics and mediums on the Summer Wells case, convinced they knew where Summer was. Didn't none of them know shit. And that little girl is no less missing today than she was when they happened their fucking ratchety asses up on the property. Get mad if you want, I don't care. But when you go and interfere in a police investigation and you tell the parents of a missing child that their child is deceased and they aren't, you're fucked up. And when you go and tell the parents of a missing child their child is still alive, living it up in fucking Barbados or some shit, and they aren't, that shit causes irreparable damage emotionally and psychotically. You don't fuck with people like that. If you do, you're a piece of shit. Like, if you want to scam people, fine. I can't do anything about that. Scam whatever. Not any skin off my nose. But don't use people's loved ones, deceased or missing or not, to manipulate them into sending you money to tell them where their missing loved one is. Because some of these fuckwits right here will go to the families of a missing person claiming to know exactly where they are, their exact location, how they're doing. They've spoken to them on the astral plane and they've told them they're having coconut soda on a beach somewhere. That'll be $50,000, please. The fuck is wrong with you? This whole skit right here, I find fucking hilarious. Right, I think so. Yeah. There's a difference in consoling the grieving easy street and profiting off of them. I'm not talking about a medium trying to comfort a family. Because 99.9% of the time they get nothing out of it. That's not for profit. I'm talking about the asshats out here charging families like $50,000, $100,000, $1 million to find the location of your missing loved one. Yeah, fuck that. No, that's not okay.
I work this case. This is a girl who you said was beaten and killed. Okay? This little girl is me. And you told somebody that she's dead. Wait a minute. You didn't disappear? I'm right here. Well, that's interesting. Ain't that a bitch? Wait, you didn't disappear? I'm right here. I love that. I'm fucking dead. Oh, wait, you didn't disappear? No, she didn't. How many families have you scammed like that, ma'am? Look at the look on her face. She knows she fucked up. I love it so much. Look at her face.
All told, 10 different psychics told our producer that Lisa had been murdered, and the FBI says to Inside Edition that they are not aware of any criminal investigation that has been solved as a direct result of information provided by a psychic.
We do see massive energy grid blackouts and cyber attacks. By May or June, one feels like it's in the Northeast, East Coast, New York area or Washington area. I think Hillary Clinton will be elected president.
Wrong.
That is absolutely
wrong. I'm starting with a gentleman, first off, and with this man, Reg. And he's also mentioned Frank. Thank you. In his younger years, because I can see the uniform, in his younger years, I don't know what he was in the Air Force. I don't feel he was a pilot because of his attire, but he's keen to show me that, and he's transported back. And so that age, which he passed. He may not even be family, he may be just known to you.
He was like, I am fishing with the name Frank, because 99.9% of the time, if you have a crowd of 200 people, there will be at least one person in that fucking crowd that knows somebody named Frank that's died. That's just the basic laws of deduction. Like, statistics would show you in a room that large, at least one of those people is going to know some dead dude by the name of Frank. I mean, come on. I don't know, Ada Wolf. I mean, I think they should be able to, but I'm not really sure whether or not you can actually sue them for that. I don't know. I can look into it and get you an answer sometime this week. I will look into that. That is a good question, because I don't know the answer to that. I do, but the Frank that I know isn't dead, and it's a moose, not a person. I named the moose Frank. But I'll look into that. And that's a good question. That is a good question. I think I'm going to look into it. So I'll try to get an answer for you, like either tomorrow or I'll try to have one by Friday.
Frank or Reg? Anyone?
Yes, please, could you get the microphone, please? One sec. Good afternoon. My father, his name was Hugh, and he was in the Air Force, and he didn't fly. He was a civil engineer.
Glynis? Do you know Glynis? Or Glennis? Living, physical?
No, it doesn't ring any bells.
It doesn't.
Earlier, I invited 3 mediums to a one-time Victorian chocolate factory where they all channeled the name George, an evil fat man who was the factory's first manager.
She's giving me the name.
Can you legally say that on television? An evil fat man. That's not nice. Some guy named George, an evil fat man. No, it's not like I have to Google it, dude. It's really not that much trouble. But I would like to get you an accurate answer. Whether or not that is possible or isn't possible, because some people probably would like to know that the answer to that question. It's a good question. I just don't happen to have the answer for it. But I will obtain the answer for you. Some evil fat dude named George in the chocolate factory. Because that's not cliche at all.
George. The only trouble is that George is part of a made-up story that I planted on the chocolate factory website a week ago. Astonishingly, Goldie has actually summoned the ghost of my made-up factory manager.
So what's his name?
I've got George and I've got Bull.
We chose the surname Bull for a reason.
What the hell was that? I'm a medium suddenly. If I act like I'm having some kind of episode, apparently that makes me a psychic medium. Blah, 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 blah. Now I'm a medium. I am a medium now, officially, because I went blah, 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 blah. That's the trick, folks. If you too want to become a medium, all you have to do is look utterly ridiculous and mumble the words, and then you too can be a medium. You can be a medium. You can be a medium. Everybody's a medium. Yay.
You ever noticed how many psychic storefronts there are in Manhattan? I wondered what would happen if I got my palms read at all of them. Do you think they would say the same exact thing? How long was it?
Into late 90s.
90s.
Very 90s. Should be all 90s. He's gone to live through 90, 91.
91.
I'm going to put this lovely picture in here. Oh, live upstairs. Is this something called the barn? Is his name Bernard or Barnard? No. Why would he say that?
That's our man.
Oh, your nan. Sorry.
All the things that you cannot say, like, you know, George Bull, if that all came from a story that I made up, does that mean that you cheated?
I did. I don't think it was ever a chocolate factory.
That's the one thing it was, Goldie. Okay. Yeah, you see, you didn't got the truth from.
Yeah, no.
We dropped our psychics in the middle of a massive pine forest. There's a rescue chopper waiting for them. Our psychics have just 15 minutes to find the chopper. They've got a map that shows an outline of the area and then something belonging to the pilot. So a personal effect, you know, keys, wallets, something like that. And then our psychics will use that to sense, know the right direction.
How did they do? Let's have a look. Most of them veer off to the right and get lost, rather than making a fairly straight path to the helicopter. These aren't just any psychics, they are the top 10 in Australia.
From hundreds of applicants, we've narrowed the field to the top 10 psychics Australia has to offer.
I can see her. Oh no. There's a car.
That tells me that if you put the 10 best psychics in Australia in the middle of the woods, that between the best psychics they have to offer, the 10 best psychics, not one of them could tell the difference between their ass and a hole in the ground. Or find a very loud, very easy to find helicopter.
Terrible. That's the start.
Boy, be married.
I see Marjorie. You'll be married in your late 30s.
10 years ago.
I'd say maybe no later than 2 years. At least 3 years. Maybe about a year and a half. Maybe a child, but not marriage. Or not the marriage kind.
Almost 9 years ago, Amanda Berry's mom went on the Montel Williams show with resident psychic Sylvia Brown spoke of Amanda.
I don't think I'll ever see her again.
Yeah, in heaven. She's gone.
Then who's this?
I'm Amanda Berry. I've been doing that, and I've been missing for 10 years, and I'm here. I'm free now.
There are 2 jagged boulders which look really misplaced. He's near the boulders. Is he still with us?
Sean was found alive, not stuck between jagged boulders, but in an apartment in suburban St. Louis.
Is it possible for a psychic to read the history of an instrument just by touching? Please welcome Bella Jones.
Just a little thing. That's just a.
I love that man. A lot of paranormal people hate him. But James Randi wanted to believe in the supernatural and looked for signs that it was real. But all he found was people scamming these innocent families and leeching off of grieving parents, grieving sisters, grieving brothers, grieving children. These parasites would leech off of, and it made him angry. He was a good man.
Getting into a lock of some sort. I felt class with that one. This one, God knows why. I'm picking up heavy, Hi, so I don't know what that's being used for. Sorry, my darling, best I can do.
You examined 6 objects. You got no information from 3 of them, and you got incorrect information from the remaining 3.
All right.
Kids, girls, I think the boys are.
Oh, adopt 2 kids. Was somebody murdered? Like, murdered.
What's the difference, pray tell? Because the way he said that threw me off. Was somebody murdered? Like, murdered? What's the difference? Like, if you get murdered, you're pretty much murdered. You can't double murder someone. Unless you are also a necromancer. Because to murder them, you would have to first murder them and then bring them back from the dead and Minecraft them again. How does one get double Minecrafted? Like, that question in and of itself made absolutely 0 sense whatsoever. None. 0, zilch, nada. Dude, you are an idiot. Just saying.
I feel like somebody passed from a suicide where their actions brought about how they got there. If anybody over there has somebody who crossed over like that, that's kind of how they showed.
So you're basically now asking who got double Minecrafted. Now you're saying that somebody that committed self-deletion did the self-deletion because they deserved it. You, sir, are a massive piece of shit. How the hell can you sit there and say something like that? Because God forbid somebody in that audience have a family member who did commit self-Minecraft, and now you've told them that that person did it because it was their fault. They did it. Like, are you fucking gone in the head?
To me. It's connected to Michael, if it helps.
I had an aunt.
Say again?
Moira.
Okay, I'm getting someone now whose name is. It's Kenny says hi.
She'll be given the 12 biographies. Then she'll do a tarot card reading on each subject. To win, she has to match the person to the correct bio 9 out of 12 times.
How convinced are you that you're going to win $1 million? I'm convinced. I see that you're a person that's ambitious. I'm going to go with this one.
This is your final lesson.
Yes.
If this is your bio, I want you to turn it towards the camera. If it's not your bio, I want you to crumple it up. Now, it looks like you've got one right.
I still believe I'm psychic.
What do you make of that? It's called, what's the term? Stubborn. I guarantee you one headline you will never see is this one. Psychic wins lottery again.
Thank you so much for watching. This is part of a several-part series on the supernatural. I'll be releasing part 2 of this compilation tomorrow, and next week I'll be answering the question, what's the harm?
I mean, the harm is a lot.
I do not believe that Houdini can come back.
Welcome to the world of the paranormal. For centuries, self-proclaimed psychics have captivated audiences with promises of supernatural insights and cosmic connections, tapping into another world, or even claiming to harness some unseen energy force. They've packed arenas, raked in millions, and claim that they bring comfort to the desperate and the grieving. But is there actually something supernatural going on? Are these prophetic prodigies really tapping into some ethereal plane of existence? Or is it all just an elaborate hustle perfected by generations of grifters? Sure, we've all heard stories about your aunt's friend's cousin who totally predicted that earthquake in California. That medium who knew things that they couldn't possibly have known. But when put to the test under controlled conditions, do any of their claims actually hold up? And if it's all just smoke and mirrors, what's the harm? If someone finds comfort believing that their dead relatives are watching over them, isn't that worth the price of admission?
No.
But what if that price is more than just a ticket to a show? What happens when vulnerable people bet their life savings on a divine investment tip, or when a grieving parent forgoes medical treatment for their child because a psychic energy healer assured them that the cancer had just disappeared? Over the next several episodes, we'll be diving deep into the twisted world of psychic phenomena. We'll explore the tricks of the trade, expose the scams, follow the money, and shine a light on the dark underbelly of an industry built on exploiting human suffering. From the classic cold reading techniques pioneered by fraudulent mediums to the high-tech methods used by modern mentalists. From small-time carnival fortune tellers to multi-millionaire TV psychics pushing prophecy for profit. Join me as we separate fact from fiction and reveal exactly how the biggest names in the psychic business have been pulling off one of the world's oldest cons. What's that? I see some exposed frauds in your future. Let's shatter some crystal balls together, shall we?
They descend like vultures. Never in the history of the world has a psychic solved a missing child case. Never.
Psychic shows like the Long Island Medium possess an editing room advantage in which they can take all of their misses over a several-hour-long recording, show only the hits, and wow their audience. What happens when they go outside this comfort zone, appearing on other people's shows, particularly live shows? Well, our brains are still wired towards confirmation bias, where we focus on the hits and ignore the misses. That is, until we start to look for the misses, for the psychic cringe fail. Let's just get tedious. So to save you time, I put together a compilation of just that. This is part 1. Enjoy.
Who lost the spouse? I think I'm right here. Your wife is departed? Is that her wedding ring?
No, it's my mother's.
Do you still have her chair?
No, your wife has farted. Apparently, this psychic knows when you fart in the afterlife. Congratulations, you memory fucking nuts. Oh, these people. I gotta plug my phone in. Bullshit, yeah. I'm having issues getting my thing to load. Sorry. Alright, I'm done with these idiots. Alright, so next we're gonna watch some Beardo, then some scary ghost videos. We may even do some Spirit Talker.
Watched from Will of Mr. Grey. Gandalf the Grey. We've become friends in the real world. We've become online friends. And when I first started doing my reaction videos and then kept finding myself debunking things, I kept getting told, hey, watch Mr. Grey, watch Mr. Grey. So I watched his, I didn't realise what I was watching, but it was his first ever debunking with logic. But the one that stood out to me, and it's something that I have taken into my own debunking, was his debunk on Ghosts of Carmel, Maine. Now recently, Ghost Quest, aka Jimmy, has brought out this huge documentary, a 4-parter covering Ghosts of Carmel, Maine. Where in the beginning he was fully investigating, believing the EVPs, and then it all ends. I won't tell you how it ends, but you can just see this 4-year journey he's gone on investigating the claims of the Ghosts of Carmel, Maine. You could just watch Mr. Gray's video, to be fair. But anyway, the reason I love this video was the way Mr. Gray went into detail where there's a shadow figure behind the curtain. And the shadow figure drops, and I'm like, ooh, but how he did that. That Mr. Gray has this nuanced approach where he's like,
the camera jerks slightly, and that's because he's pulled something. Because when you do this, your whole body moves, and there's just this slight movement, and that was what added more credibility from. I think that's a sheet being pulled. To that's a sheet being pulled. You can see this. You can see this jerking movement, which lends obviously.
There's the link to Beardo's channel. All the likes, subs, and stuff galore. You know, giving credit where credit's due. Not that he needs my help. The dude's got nearly 60 something K subscribers. I think it's at 58K, nearly 60. But because I'm using his stuff, I'm going to shout him out. Not that he needs it from me, because I am a tiny, tiny, minuscule channel, and he is a massive channel. But I am playing his content, and he's a good creator. So.
More credibility to Gandalf's debunk than the shadow figure sliding under a bed. This and another was a toss-up of the best one for me, because there's also a video where a guy is laying in a grave and you see his shirt get pulled, and I thought that I had debunked it. Well, I did debunk it, but I got some bits slightly off, because I didn't quite understand masking as well as I do now. But I only understand masking the way I do now because of Mr. Gray in his videos where he shows you how it's done. So let's join the thumb, the ghost. What's a ghost?
Right, this next one is called Ghost of Carmel, Maine, I think, if I remember correctly. I've seen a couple of his videos. It's about shadow. It's mainly about a shadow ghost haunting mainly his bedroom, actually. I think it's like once or twice down in his room. See, now apparently he's there.
This is not technically the Ghost of Carmel, Maine. This is Lamb House, and the guy who owns the house is named Kent, and he is in Maine. And like Carmel, Maine has more than one haunted area, but the house he's looking at right there is called the Lamb House, and it's owned by a guy named Kent, who's a decent dude, you know. I'm interested to see what Beardo says, because a lot of Kent's evidence is insanely confounding. Like, I can't explain a lot of it. Because, yeah, he could have overlaid that shadow in the window, but how do you explain the movements of that curtain matching the movements of that shadow in real time? Like, I believe Kent. I believe that these hauntings are real. I haven't seen anything to tell me that they aren't yet, because he has some pretty convincing stuff. I don't know who this bald dude is, but like, he needs to calm the fuck down.
This is the clip.
Do you see it?
I saw it. I'm a believer.
Now, there's one thing I'd like to point out here, and the reason I saw this straight away, this little movement, right? Can you see? Yes, you see my mouse click, right? That little black thing there, that is apparently the ghost in his window. There's other ones, by the way. There's other videos of the ghost just leaning on his bed, all in black. You know, so he doesn't stay around to check. But anyway, but that there is, in this instance, is the ghost. Now, watch him pull back. There. Right, so just before the ghost jumps out of his window, you can see the guy holding the camera. Right? He's sort of like, you could imagine he's standing there now with the camera. He's like that. You can sort of see him go like that.
his movement goes like that before the ghost jumps out.
If you also watch the bottom corner of this curtain, obviously where it's tied onto, you see the curtain pulling before, which would lead me to believe, yeah, there's a string out of there under the bed, and he's just pulled it clean under the bed. And I knew how it was done, but there was like a, how do you prove it? And obviously that camera jerk was everything.
Which is, I think, him pulling the string. He's pulling the string. Ready? Watch it now. See the camera? Go back now. He's just pulled the string. Now, the reason why I noticed that straight away is because I did an almost exact visual effect, in one of my short videos where I had animal. Where is he? Oh, he's not in there, but I had the little toy animal, which he was like sort of supposed to be picking around the corner, and I pulled a piece of string in order to make him go behind the corner. And you can actually, if you watch my video closer, you can see my camera movement pull the string, because I just wasn't steady enough.
So yeah, whilst I knew how it was done, or I thought I knew how it was done, just that little nuance that Mr. Gray adds of the camera pulled, and then the more you watch it, the more obvious it becomes. And hands down, it is one of my favourite debugs ever, just because it solidified what my thoughts were. But then that's when I started in there's little things that you can't help, involuntary body reactions that the fakers will be unaware of. And I just thought it was an amazing debunk, and it was my introduction into this world of being a debunker of fake paranormal videos, or being a debunker of the paranormal in general, because not everything is fake. A lot of it is people misunderstanding, misinterpreting, and that's fine. People can learn from that. It's only when they start shouting, crying, and screaming where you're like, we know what you're doing. I'm obviously going to link the channels in the description down below. Please go and check these guys out. If hand on heart, if it was not for Mr. Gray, I wouldn't have a debunking channel. This would never become my job. And in a bizarre twist of fate, it turns out that Mr. Gray used to watch me gaming over on Twitch. And then a couple of months into my debunking, he was like, I know this guy. Small world. And it becomes an even smaller world when you realise that me and Mr. Gray were in the Army Cadets at the same age, around the same time. And we would have been on the same annual camp. And because we were both in the valley.
Huh. That's interesting. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to agree to disagree with Beardo on this particular person. Because if you go through Kent's videos, a lot of them are pretty convincing. And personally, I personally believe those are real and haven't seen anything that has convinced me personally that they aren't. But Beardo's entitled to his opinion, and I'm just going to disagree on this particular creator. I don't believe that Kent faked it yet. I'm keeping an open mind. But I still believe in him, so. Until I see something that tells me otherwise.
We would have been in the same battalion. Meaning, we probably met when we were kids, but we both looked a lot different. I had less hair. He had more. So my next favourite debunk comes from the side-eye guy. And this was...
I love the side-eye guy. The side-eye guy is freaking hilarious. So I agree with Beardo on this one. Side-eye guy is funny.
Kind of a few parts, really, where he caught Mindseed using paid actors. He found the paid actors on IMDb. Mindseed made some claims about this haunted location, where it was, the weather on the night, and he disproved all of it by checking weather reports, checking the geography, and then checking out the location history and finding out it was just an Airbnb.
Mindseed filmed a ghost hunt in what they call
on a plantation in New Orleans, Louisiana.
They did a live stream before entering the house, and this live stream was uploaded on the 22nd of April 2023.
Hey, we got one in the chat with us. What's going on? Who's in here? How do we see this chat here? We just pulled up to a location outside of New Orleans where we're going to be for the evening, and we're sitting outside this place. We're in New Orleans, and this place looks pretty fucked up. This is where we're at. Window over one time. This is what we're about to be spending the night in right here.
This house was the first red flag because it looked nothing like what I'd imagine a Louisiana plantation would look like. So I did some research. I'm not even sure we're in the New Orleans area here. We know the date they did this investigation because of the live stream I mentioned earlier. The investigation happened on April 22nd, 2023. So I went on a few websites that record weather by date.
Coming from the area myself via childhood, that looks nothing like Louisiana at all. I've never seen a house like that in Louisiana. It would have Spanish moss, weeping willows. Like, it would have telltale signs that it's Louisiana, okay? It looks nothing like Louisiana. I'd be curious to know where they are. That looks that devoid of Spanish moss. Just, or couscous, or, yeah, where?
Orleans on the 22nd of April 2023 was a sunny day and a clear night. No storms or rain in the area at all. I also find it strange that since this is supposed to be a wedding venue, that I cannot find the website anywhere. Usually, wedding venues want to be found for obvious reasons. Now, of course, I don't know the name of this venue, and that makes it harder to find. But I spent a considerable amount of time searching for venues across the state of Louisiana, and nothing came up. Which brings me to my next point. I'm English, so obviously I'm not an expert on American architecture. But a quick Google search shows me this property looks nothing like a typical southern plantation. Of course, all of this is speculation, but it does make me wonder why Mindseed is so vague about this property.
And just go and check out the few videos he did when he busted some with that paid actors and stuff. Incredible, very smart debunks. So the guy does the research debunks. Mr. Gray is a fantastic video analyst. He's got a history with editing and photography, filmography, things of that nature. And but then to look at something completely different, find like the weather reports, and not be able to find the location that they say is a wedding hire venue. It's just very, very smart debunking. One of the smartest ones I've seen. My next favorite debunk, it is not a debunk of a specific channel, it is of a bit of equipment that for a while was the focal point of just about every investigator out there, whether they knew what they were doing or not. And it comes from Kenny Biddle. Now, Kenny Biddle I met much further on into my debunking sort of.
You must be close to me, Easy Street, because it just hit 7 degrees where I'm sitting right this minute. It literally just hit 7 degrees here. So you must be pretty close. They closed, I don't know if you know where it's at or not, but they closed down Topsom because you can't get from Auburn to Topsom over that bridge. They closed the bridge, both of them. Like both bridges, they shut down. It's bad, dude. The black ice. They shut that shit down so fast. They may shut down Auburn Lewiston too.
Career. Feels weird calling this a career. But once I discovered Kenny Biddle's work, and I discovered him through Mr. Grey, completely blown away. This guy doesn't take educated guesses. This guy gets his hands on the equipment. He gets his hands on manuals for equipment things. This is the guy responsible for the DR60 debunk. But that's not my favourite one. My favourite one is the Kinect does not capture ghosts.
Since this is my video, and I'm doing consider like a public service announcement, very short video on the Xbox Kinect.
It was not.
I'm not going to get into the
40 minutes
workings, descriptions, and like nitty gritty of how it works. I'll bring it down here. So this has been going for about oh shit, I don't know, like a half hour now.
Language, Kenny.
And little guy hasn't moved. He's stuck on that chair with the bag. Like I said, it's a very quick video. I'm not looking to do anything in depth here. I'm just showing you examples and saying, hey, you know what? This can happen. It will happen.
Well, Easy Street, I've had to actually pull out the freaking propane tank. Like, because the electric heat is not cutting it. So I've literally had to pull out the double burners in the propane tank. In both fireplaces. It is that cold.
Definite flaw that must be taken into account when people use equipment like this. You can't just throw a device out there and claim to be scientific and using a device when you don't know how it works. You're not sure of the flaws. You don't control for the environment. And most importantly, you don't do what the fucking manufacturer says. And basically that means you have to clear a space. Like, this space should be a good 10 by 10 area where nothing is in there.
And this is pretty common. I mean, when you think about the ghost hunting TV shows or YouTube videos that you see where ghost hunters go out and use this thing, they're getting stick figures because they're walking around. It's usually on a portable handle with a tablet attached to it, battery pack, and they're looking for this. Or even if it's stationary and they're moving about the scene, either walking into the scene or other things are getting into the scene. People using cameras with infrared lights can also affect it. We'll see that a little bit later.
So I link Kenny Biddle as well. We're going to watch the.
It looks like the stick figure is trying to twerk. I'm not even kidding. It looked like the stick figure is like, oh, shake it, shake it. You gotta move it, move it. You gotta shake it, shake it. You gotta move it, move it. It looked like Stick Ghost shaking that ass. I'm just saying.
He's made a few videos on the Kinect, and it's through Kenny Biddle's videos that we realise you can't move the Kinect because you confuse it. It's not meant to be moved. It's meant to be put at a certain height in a certain size room, and it's because of Kenny Biddle that I didn't buy a Kinect, because I used to watch stuff and I'd be like, that's incredible. Wow. On occasion, be like, I'm pretty sure that's picked up the arm of that sofa there, or it's picked up that thing. But then as soon as you take into account moving it and all the rest of it, then you've got Mr. Grey who discussed that the infrared is going to bounce off something to give you the stick figure. And if there's nothing there and you've got a stick figure, then it's probably been overlaid, because you should see an outline of what the IR is bouncing off. Very smart debunks, and it all stemmed from Kenny Biddle's work. I mean, this was 6 years ago he did this, and people are still using this crap now and claiming it to be real. Really haunted. Kenny Biddle's also debunked Really Haunted and recreated a lot of his things with relative ease. And the next debunk doesn't actually come from a debunking channel. It comes from a paranormal investigation channel, a channel that I trust because they debunk live. They debunk on location. And many of you will know that I've become good friends with the Ouija Brothers. And initially, I watched the Ouija Brothers like 7 years ago when they first started, and I'm watching the videos, and I'm like, nothing's happening. This sucks. I'll have to go and watch some other stuff. And then in lockdown, I rediscovered the Ouija Brothers, and I was like, I'd been investigating on and off up to lockdown. lockdown, never recorded anything because nothing ever happened. Watching these guys put out videos where nothing happened, and when things did happen, they were debunking it on the spot. It was such a breath of fresh air and mirrored my own experiences with the paranormal. I'm sat there like, why aren't I getting what all these other teams are getting? And then there's a channel that even back then were doing really well, who are sharing my experiences in the paranormal. That it's not every episode without fail, week after week after week. But the debunker I want to bring your attention to, and I'm not going to show the whole thing because this is a 20-minute video, is fake EVPs exposed, featuring Proven Demons and PX TV. I don't even know what PX TV are. So Steve's in his editing software here, and then he notices something in his editing software.
Hey people, I'm going to show you why these EVP recorders are so unreliable. We've been using this now since August of 2017, and at first when we got it we thought, wow, we're getting some really good results, until I went back home and I looked through the footage, and because I know I've been doing video editing for years, and I mess around with the sound and I enhance the sound and stuff like that. We was getting responses with this thing using a specific mode that makes anything sound like an EVP. I've already got this footage kind of up and ready. So yeah, if the episode is Children of the Damned, and it was with me and Griff at a school. We got 2 EVPs that we thought, wow, how amazing is this? So I'm just going to show you the EVP that we actually caught. So I've got to go. So here we go. Here's the EVP that we thought we caught. Listen to this. So it sounds like a yes. Now I actually go to the time frame, and you can see, in fact, it's just Griff's arms moving. Watch this. Do you want to be friends with me and Griff? There you go. See, it's the exact same sound. Now, let me play that one, the EVP sound with the real-time footage. Now, I know it's not the best example. I will see what I can kind of do.
Steve, in his defense, thought he was, with his honesty, alerting people to the settings on this particular recorder. The settings we're all using is giving us false positives, and we all have to stop because what we're putting out there isn't honest once we find this out. And he thought he was helping people, and the blowback that he got from this was next level. I mean, it took him into debunking level. It took him into the levels of toxicity aimed at them that the debunkers get, because they did take away false positives. But it's a fantastic debunk. It was a brief debunk, and it wasn't intending on hurting anyone. It was a debunk of their own footage, of their own equipment, that they were like, we all need to learn that this isn't usable. And for the final one, I'm not going to use my own. I've decided there are better debunks from this lunatic, but he took most of his debunking content down off the platform after being relentlessly harassed by people, despite him being a very nice man. This is again somebody that I've become very close friends with in the real world, and this is from the big no shit purple pirate Apple. Hey, Spyline. He discovered that AI could actually catch out paranormal fakery, and he did it with everyone's favourite fakers, Lainey and Ben. Obviously, there's a storied history between us all. That's all done and dusted. This is about the debunk and how Purple integrated AI to test the validity of this video. Absolutely fantastic. And I've done this myself. Northern Paranormal Investigators, whatever they were called, or the Grudge Head, appeared from behind the door. I did this AI test, and the AI detected 8 different cuts in the movement of the camera going back and forth. Obviously, those cuts, so where they've got somebody in, poke the head out, pull the head back out, moved out of the way, and all the rest of it. Fantastic. Really smart debunking with tools that are available to most of us. Because me and Pat use different editing software. I can't remember what he uses in this, but I use DaVinci Resolve, and it has automatic scene detection, so you can find the cuts automatically. Does the work for you? Is it perfect? Probably not, but still, watch.
That took far too many takes, and I really didn't expect it to take that long. So I've got it over the reaction screen now, and here we are in Premiere Pro, and I have literally, as you can see, so this is the We Can't Believe We Caught This in a, We Can't Believe We Caught This in a Haunted House with Nanny and Ben. And I've trimmed off the beginning and trimmed off the end, and so basically this is a piece of footage where apparently when we skim through, we can see obviously stick figures being caught, and then we see this magic thing caught on camera walking across as a whole body here, as you can see. Now this is something I actually did myself in an older video, which I showed how it was done. I dressed up like an idiot in a blue screen suit and showed this. So we're just going to apply scene detection to this and keep our fingers crossed and just see if it detects any more different goings on, shall we? I will let it run in real time. I'm going to click here. I'm going to click scene edit detection. And I'm going to click. And then I'm going to click.
Hit the backwards and forwards button.
What can I say? Analyze. There we go. Sorry, I lost my mouse button then. I'm just going to analyze that clip, let it go in real time. While you're here and waiting, if you'd like to hit that like and subscribe button. God, I sound like a YouTube person. But if you'd like to hit the like and subscribe button, that'd be very, very good. We have amazing community game night streams on Wednesday, and the weirdest live stream you've ever seen in your life on Thursday. Don't believe me, some people in the comments will tell you just how miraculous and brilliantly weird it is. But yes, so this is nearly finished now. It doesn't take too long. Just talking through this so you can see there's no EBGBs going on here, which, you know, in all fairness, last time people were very, very happy with the way that we did this. This footage that I'm showing you is all meant to be one piece of footage that's just being sped up. So as it's being sped up, you'll find that it actually, that scene edit detect really struggles with this sped up, and we can see some cuts already. So let's bring up and see where the cuts are to see if there's anything that's, you know, that's been walking out of the room. So what we're going to do here is I will just go to the timeline just so we can see if anything happens. So if we look on the screen at the cut. Oh wow, there we go. So if we notice, just by a miracle of course, just before the cut, I'm pretty sure we saw some green. So just before the cut, just on the bottom right hand corner, so we can actually see some movement right here in the bottom right hand corner. And then just after this couple of frames,
boom,
by some miracle, something jumps in the bottom right hand corner of this screen. Well, that cut shouldn't have been there because it shouldn't exist. Now if we just go forward a little bit more just to see what other treats they have aligned for us, it seems the AI test is going to be a spectacular fail for Laney and Ben, I'm afraid.
Uh-oh.
So here it's detecting cut because the lights change. Now this is something,
This is a thing commonly done amongst these people. They will cut scene and edit in their bullshittery and pass it off as real evidence, and I have a problem with that. Like, if you're gonna do like investigations, do investigations. Don't do that. All right, now we're gonna take a look at paranormal games you should never play.
Room. Once the light is off, the thread can be cut. So you'll hear the chocolate bar fall on top of the mirror, and then everyone has to start chanting this. Sweet tooth, please come. Sweet tooth, please come. Sweet tooth, sweet tooth, please come. So you have to say it for a total of 3 times. For step 7, everyone has to remain in a circle and wait. Soon, everybody will start hearing this rustling sound. And apparently, that sound is the gnome unwrapping the chocolate to eat it. Everyone has to wait until the rustling sound stops. And once it does, then everybody has to slow.
Are you fucking kidding me? You're like, sweet tooth, sweet tooth. Really? I'm sorry, but that's stupid. Just Spirit Talker. It's a paid app, so you do have to pay for it. But it is a good app, in my opinion.
Count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, this is a thing I will not be inviting to my house because, well, I mean, it eats your snacks. So, obvious reasons, I don't want it eating my snacks.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then one person in the group has to get up and turn the light back on. Now, there are several things that might happen while playing this game. 1, the gnome may eat the chocolate as planned, which is good. That means the game has been completed and you've been successful. Number 2, the gnome might just leave bite marks on your chocolate. He may not actually eat the whole thing, which is still fine. Number 3, the gnome might leave presents of more chocolate for you guys. So those are the 3 pretty good things that might happen, which means the game.
I mean, like, I'm sorry, but I don't want some midget in a app putting its mouth germs all over my chocolate. So that's no for me, boss. Like, I'm sorry, but I don't want some random tiny person running through my house, mouth breathing all over my chocolate.
Has been successful. Now, there is a warning that comes with this game, which is what makes it so creepy, because honestly, this game is pretty low risk as long as you follow the rules correctly. It says that if everything is done right, things should go pretty smoothly. But if things aren't done correctly, it says the gnome could bite you or escape from the mirror into our real world forever. Because basically, this gnome that you're summoning is supposed to come out of the mirror to get the chocolate. But sometimes it might not go back into the mirror. And if the gnome escapes, they say it will hide in your house forever and bite your toes while you sleep at night. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to know.
So basically, you're telling me you're going to summon a gnome with a foot fetish. And I can't stand for my feet to be touched, let alone some weird little dude in a hat nibbling on my toes while I sleep. No, thank you. Some weird little gnome with a foot fetish running around my house. No, I'm good. Thank you. Not only does he have a weird foot fetish, but he's going to be running around my house, biting my toes and eating my snacks. That's going to be a no for me, dog. No.
Biting my toes at night while I'm sleeping. So I actually found an experience from people who actually had this game go completely wrong. And it's literally called Sleepover Gone Wrong. There was a story about a group of friends who played this at a sleepover one year for a 13th birthday party. Now, they weren't taking this game very, very seriously at all. They kept laughing. They kept doing the rules all wrong. They kept, like, eating the chocolate that was in the middle of the circle. And it's just because none of them believed that anything bad would actually happen from playing this game. And they didn't even believe in this game to start with. They were just sort of doing it for fun. Never do rituals for fun. Well, that night when they had all gone to bed, one of the girls woke up to hear rustling coming from the pantry in the kitchen. It almost sounded like an animal had gotten into the house. So she slowly walked towards the sound, holding a broom in her hand for protection. And when she turned the corner to look into the pantry, she saw this small man crouched in the corner, basically down in the shadows underneath the food shelves. It was too dark to see him in detail, but his eyes were glowing yellow and were looking directly at her. And after a few moments of them staring at each other, this creature started to laugh. And it was the creepiest laugh that this girl had ever heard in her life. It was like this deep growl mixed with hissing. So the girl ran back to her group of friends to tell them what happened. And by the time they woke up their parents and all went back to the pantry, this creature was nowhere to be seen. And from that day forward, whenever these girls had a sleepover, after they were all sleeping, the creature would come out of the darkness and would tear up their sleeping bags to chew on their toes. Could you imagine sleeping at a sleepover and the bottom of your sleeping bag starts being torn open and like you're being eaten from your toes? Right door, yellow door is
Hey, Harry. Ew! Easy Street. No, it's gross. Like, what is it with weird people and feet?
scary paranormal game to play at sleepovers. Now, this ritual slash game also has a couple other names. People also call it black door, white door, or doors of the mind. Basically, you're having a sleepover with your friends, and you'll choose one of your friends to be your guide while playing this game. So obviously, to play this game, you will need at least 2 people. So the person you choose to be your guide will basically put you into a trance and will lead you through the doors of your mind. I know it sounds crazy. So let's go into how you set up for this game. Basically, your guide will sit on the floor with your legs crossed. You'll have a pillow on their lap, and you'll lie in front of them on the ground with your head on the pillow that's on their lap. Does that make sense? You're like lying in front of them. You're gonna close your eyes and you're gonna hold your hands up in the air like you just don't care. Now, your guide's gonna start massaging your temples with their fingers while they say red door, yellow door, any other color door, red door, yellow door, any other color door. And they're gonna keep saying this over and over again. Then you're gonna start feeling yourself slipping into a trance. So you have to almost let yourself start falling asleep as you're listening to your guide say this. Once you slip into your trance, you will start to see rooms or doors in front of you. Once you see these doors, you're going to lower down your arms, and this way your guide knows that you're finally in your trance, and the game will begin. The guide asks you questions, getting you to describe your surroundings and prompting you to open doors. I feel like I haven't seen a video in so long. Oh my goodness. So here is some of the questions that your guide might ask you while you're around all of these crazy doors. They might say, are you in a room? Just describe this room. What color are the doors? How do you feel about the purple door? Open the purple door and go through. So you have to have like proper communication with your guide. Now, this is where the game gets very creepy because there's tons of rules and advice about what you should do while you're in the doors of your mind. So basically, while you're in your trance, you might see a long hallway with doors all down the side. You might be in a house with a bunch of colorful doors. You might be in the middle of a field with just like one door in front of you. It all depends on how your mind portrays this other world with doors. Now, what if the rules say that if you ever come across another person in this world, you should never interact with them because they might turn out to be evil or they might try and trick you. There was this one experience someone had where they were being followed by someone they knew in real life. So when they saw them, they just waved at them because they recognized them, and this other person waved back. But instantly, they had this horrible feeling that the person they were waving at wasn't really who they knew. It was almost like something was trying to disguise themselves as someone they knew. So if you see anyone while playing this game, just avoid them. Don't talk to them. Don't look at them. Pretend you don't think they're there. If you find yourself in a room full of clocks, you have to leave immediately because clocks can trap you. So people say that if you walk into a room that only has like one clock on the wall, you're totally fine. But if more and more start appearing, or if you literally walk into a room with floor-to-ceiling clocks everywhere, you need to get out of that room immediately and do not go back in. One person said this happened to them while playing this game, and it was almost like the clock started to hypnotize them, and they ended up staring at the wall for hours and hours, and their friends were even unable to wake them up, which is terrifying. Another rule says that you can go anywhere you want, but it's better to go up than down. So basically, if you ever see a staircase while you're in this other trance world, it's better to choose a staircase that's going up than a staircase that's going down. A lot of people who play this game have gone down staircases, and they say they get this very, very eerie feeling because sometimes the staircases don't stop, and it's like you're going down endless staircases forever and ever, and eventually you get like lost in your mind. I read this other experience about someone who went down over 80 staircases going down, and once they got to the very bottom, they encountered this very creepy figure that had the face of their mother, but it had two heads and it was crawling on all fours, like going after them. So they had to go back all the way up through these 80 staircases while this creepy creature was chasing them. They had the face of their mother. That is terrifying. Like, I would never want to go through that or experience that. So yeah, if you ever encounter stairs, just go up. Just go up. The next rule of advice says that light things and light colors tend to be better than dark things and dark colors. So many people have said that they have better experiences going through lightly colored doors, but it's different for everybody. So maybe if you see a dark purple door, there might be something bad in there. But if you go through like a light green door, there's something nice in there. But that's not always the case. One person went through a light pink door only to find themselves endlessly falling into a black abyss. So yeah, I guess light isn't always good. It really depends. The next rule says that if you become trapped in a room, you have to try and wake up, or you will be trapped in a trance forever, which is everybody's worst fear. So trapped in a room basically means there's no windows around, there's no trap doors in the floor for you to escape, there's literally no way for you to get out. It's like you just walk into like a plain room and walls. Like maybe the door got blocked by something, or it disappeared the second you entered the room. It says that in this case, you will need to communicate with your guide to help you with waking up, because sometimes it's very hard to do on your own, so your guide will have to like shake you awake. And it says sometimes it's easy, but other times it's harder than you think. Oh, next it says, they say that if you die in the game, you also die in real life. No, thank you. Now, I was reading online that most people have been saying that this rule is just there for entertainment factor, just to make you more scared while playing the game. But I wasn't able to find any sources online that have said that people have died while playing this game. I literally just kicked my camera. I'm not into this video. So obviously, if people died while playing this game, I would not be making a video about it because I would never want to encourage anybody to do something that like would be harmful. It's just a game where you explore your mind, and the worst thing that could happen is something in the game scares you so much that it's hard for you to forget about it when you wake up. Or maybe you just get trapped in your mind forever, but that probably won't happen. The next creepy thing it says is that if you encounter a man in a suit who makes you feel uneasy, you should end the game immediately. Now, a lot of people have encountered this creepy man in the suit while playing this game. Some people describe him as wearing a widely brimmed hat. Some people say he's wearing a dark purple suit, and he basically just watches people as they walk through the rooms and the hallways, not really saying anything, just making them feel very uneasy. Other people have said they get into a trance just by looking at him. Other people have said they've seen a woman in a Victorian dress that essentially does the exact same thing. So kind of like what I said before, if you see anybody, just avoid them. Don't look at them, don't pay attention to them, just walk away. And lastly, it says, in an emergency, if you are unable to wake up, it may be necessary for the guide to shake you roughly until you awaken. So like I said before, sometimes you need help waking up from this game, so you have to be like shaken really hard and uncontrollably. And I guess that's why you always play this game with people around you in case like a crazy emergency happens and you have to wake up. The Answer Man is an urban legend that started circulating in Japan over 10 years ago. People actually think it came from the early 2000s. It is also known as the Phantom of the Answer and the Answer Phantom. In this game, you're basically calling a mysterious creature that will answer any questions that you'd like. Now, you need to make sure that you really, really want to know the answer to this question, because once he tells you, you will never unhear it. Some people ask him questions about the world or what's going to happen to them in the future, and obviously once you know those things, you might live your life in fear. But it does say, however, knowledge doesn't come free, so be prepared for a trade-off. And the game says, as always, play at your own risk. So here are the requirements to play this game. You need 10 people and 10 cell phones. And the game actually says it's better to play with burner phones, and you'll find out in a minute as to why. So here is how to play this very creepy game. First, you can play this game anywhere, at any time. It doesn't have to be at night. It could be during the day. It could be in your house. It could be outside. It could literally be anywhere that you want. You have to gather all 10 people in a circle. And on the count of 3, each person has to take their phone and call the person to their left. So everybody is calling at the exact same time. Now, if all 10 people instantly get a busy tone on their phone, that means the game was unsuccessful and it's over. But if 9 participants get the busy signal, but one person's call goes through and actually starts to ring, that means the game has begun and you're able to proceed. This one participant will hear a voice begin to speak on the other end. So basically, the goal is, out of all 10 people, one person is supposed to be able to speak to the answer man. And when you start to play this game, you have no idea who in the group that will be, which is kind of suspenseful and would give me so much anxiety, I think. So here's how the conversation with the answer man is going to go. The person whose call goes through is able to ask the answer man a question. And this person needs to listen very carefully to the answer. Now, after the answer man has given them that answer, he will now ask the participant a question. Now, you have to answer the question that he asks you. You can't say no, and you have to be honest and truthful. You cannot lie because he will know. And then you can repeat this process as many times as you like. You ask him a question, he asks you a question, and everything between you two has to be 100% honest. Now, here's how to end the call. And this part is honestly really creepy. When the person has received all the information they require, they may end the call by telling the answer man that they must go. Now, the answer man is going to try to attempt to keep you on the line as long as possible. He might do this by possibly offering information for free, but do not stay on the line. You need to repeatedly tell him that you want to end the conversation. If you are persistent enough, the answer man will eventually end the call and hang up on you. At this point, the call has been terminated and the game is over. After the call has been terminated, you must immediately destroy all the cell phones used.
Oh, I take up a lot of free space, don't I? Not that there's a lot of space in your head anyway. Your last remaining brain cell is really struggling. Been obsessed with the same person for like 4 years, dude. You need to get a grip. Try therapy. Therapy could work. Maybe. Or straight jacket. Straight jackets are good for people like you. Just saying. Helpful advice. I'm here for helpful advice.
To conduct this game. And this is why they suggest you use a burner phone, because obviously that's just a temporary phone that you don't actually care about. You probably don't want to get rid of your real cell phone that has all of your information and contacts on it. But whatever phones you use, you have to burn immediately. Get rid of them. Destroy them. So here are some warnings about this game that you need to know about before you play. It is not recommended that if you're talking to the answer man, for you to pass the phone around to your friends. You should not allow multiple people to ask him questions. It should only be the one person. There's a reason the answer man picked up that particular call. He does not want to talk to just anybody. It is also not recommended that you put the answer man on speakerphone. No one else should hear him but the person whose call was answered. Do not fail to destroy all cell phones used to conduct this game after the game is completed. Even if you were among the 9 who were unable to connect in the first place, you never know what might try to call you back. So if you just finish the game and don't destroy your phone and take it home with you, apparently the answer man will try to call you over and over again. And he won't leave you alone until that phone is destroyed. Like I said before, it also says you cannot fail to answer the answer man's questions. According to the legend, the answer man is the ghost of a child who was born severely deformed. When he was born, he had no arms, legs, or torso. He was just a head. And ever since his death, his ghost has
You've got to be kidding me.
Constantly been trying to.
This cannot be an actual thing. Because let me explain reality to you. So basically, you're telling me that there was a person born and it was just the head, just the head, that would insinuate that all the body's vital organs necessary for sustaining life were just not there. Because all of that is not going to fit into a tiny little head. Like your lungs, your heart, your liver, your kidneys, all of those things called organs that are necessary for life. If they were born minus all of that, they would not have lived at all. You have to have a heart to pump your blood to your brain, ma'am. No, I'm sorry, but there is no such thing as a person born just the head and they lived for any amount of time. No. Because if that were the case, you'd have a bunch of decapitated people walking around or being rolled around out here, if that were possible. That is the most idiotic, insanely stupid urban legend I think I have ever heard in my life. So basically, just the little head, question, how does just a head dial a phone number? How does just the head hold the phone or have a phone? Because the way you're telling the story is that this head is making phone calls in the afterlife, but like that this head lived for a considerable amount of time, considering the fact that they were just a head with no vital organs whatsoever. No lungs, no kidneys, no heart, nothing to pump the blood through the head to keep the brain cells alive and to, prolong brain activity or to permit brain activity. Because without a heart to pump the blood, there's no brain activity. So you're telling me that a brain dead head, disembodied head, with no organs, no way to pump the blood, nothing, it's just the head, is capable of thought, let alone dialing phone numbers and asking questions. If you believe that urban legend, you are about as dense as the person who just attempted to troll in my chat. I would be safe to say that the person that just attempted to troll me probably has less brain cells than the urban legend of this miraculous head that was somehow miraculously able to sustain life with no vital organs. The brain dead person with no body and just the head has more intellect than the aforementioned person. That's pretty sad. The non-existent person, I should say, because this never happened. If you believe any of that, you are an imbecile. Sorry, just saying. Okay, just listen one more time to this cockamamie story about what I have no idea. But one more time for the people in the back.
Phone that you don't actually care about. You probably don't want to get rid of your real cell phone that has all of your information and contacts on it. But whatever phones you use, you have to burn immediately. Get rid of them. Destroy them. So here are some warnings about this game that you need to know about before you play. It is not recommended that if you're talking to the answer man, for you to pass the phone around to your friends. You should not allow multiple people to ask him questions. It should only be the one person. There's a reason the answer man picked up that particular call. He does not want to talk to just anybody. It is also not recommended that you put the answer man on speakerphone. No one else should hear him but the person whose call was answered. Do not fail to destroy all cell phones used to conduct this game after the game is completed. Even if you were among the 9 who were unable to connect in the first place, you never know what might try to call you back. So if you just finish the game and don't destroy your phone and take it home with you, apparently the answer man will try to call you over and over again, and he won't leave you alone until that phone is destroyed. Like I said before, it also says you cannot fail to answer the answer man's questions. According to the legend, the answer man is the ghost of a child who was born severely deformed. When he was born, he had no arms, legs, or torso. He was just a head. And ever since his death, his ghost has constantly been.
So he was born with no legs, arms, or torso. He was just the head. Explain to me how he lived at all. What's keeping his brain alive? Can you answer that? I doubt you can. Swear to God. Some of these. I can't.
Been trying to become a full human by collecting the body parts of others. So don't lie. Do not answer falsely. Do not answer incorrectly. If you fail to answer any question the answer man asks you, you might start to feel this strange tingling sensation on one part of your body. It might be your finger, your toe, your arm, your ear, and this is how you will know that you have failed, and there is a price for your failure. And then later on in your life, maybe days or months or even years, you will lose that part of your body. They say it may be by accident, by an illness, by some other means, and that's how he will collect his fee. And the final warning is to never hang up on the answer man. He doesn't like that. Okay, so this very first game is called the Fed Up game. This game apparently originated in 2008 in Japan.
I can play this game. I too am fed up. Fed up with the dumb shits on the internet who mistakenly think that they are intelligent life forms. I could definitely play this game. Fucking fed up game.
And it literally involves writing the words fed up on a blank piece of paper and then falling asleep with the piece of paper tucked underneath your pillow. Other versions of the game say that you need to write I'm tired on the piece of paper, but either one will work. When you awake, you'll find yourself somewhere new. You'll know you're in this other world because when you look under your pillow, the paper will be gone. Now, there is a warning that says this should only be attempted if you have no intention of returning back to your own world, because there's no way of getting back once you've left, which is terrifying. There was this one story where this girl had a 12-year-old sister who wanted to try to play this game because she wanted to go to a mystical realm where she could hang out with unicorns all day. Kind of sounds like me. The next day, when her parents went to wake her up for school, she was gone. Now, obviously, this is just a creepypasta, but still. Then we have a game called Purple Hearts, which, as you can tell, is the title of today's video. This game is bizarre. Now, Purple Hearts is actually a very old game. It dates back to the 80s and 90s, I believe. This game is basically where you explore other worlds.
Excuse me? Excuse me. The 80s are not really, really, really old. Thank you very much. I was born in the 80s. Ma'am. The 80s aren't really, really, really old. You make us sound like we're freaking ancient sentient beings if we were born in the 80s. I did not play with the fucking dinosaurs, ma'am. I'm also not really, 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 really old. Excuse you?
Worlds while you're dreaming. So one person in this game has to be the sleeper, and the other person has to be the watcher. So there's two people. One person gets into their bed and tries to fall asleep, and the other person sits beside them and watches over them. The person who's watching has to say, purple hearts, purple hearts, purple hearts, over and over again, until that sleeper drops into a dream. Then they lead the sleeper through their dream, encouraging them to describe where they are, what they see, and anything that might be going on around them. Now, when the sleeper starts to describe seeing purple hearts in their dream, it's time to wake them up and bring them back to the real world. Now, in order to wake up the sleeper, you have to tell them to reach out and grab one of the purple hearts that they're seeing. Once the sleeper has grabbed the purple heart in their dream, they should awake in the physical world. Now, the rumor is if you're not woken up right away after you see these hearts in your dream, then for the rest of your life, you'll always see those shapes in your vision. Imagine always seeing purple hearts wherever you go. Like, that sounds super distracting, but also kind of cool. Like, you know how sometimes when you look outside, you see those like floaters in your vision? Imagine those being giant purple hearts. Weird. Next, we have something called the thumb game. This is probably one of the strangest games that I read about. You have to gather together a group of friends, and you all have to stand in a circle, and you have to grab onto each other's thumbs. So you're not holding hands, you're holding thumbs, if that makes sense. As you're doing that, you have to imagine a particular environment. It could be a magical place, a mythical place, a waterfall, another planet. You have to all decide on what you're going to imagine. You'll soon find yourself in the environment that you've imagined. Except when you look down at your thumb, you'll realize that it's missing. And now you have to go on a quest to find your thumb in this other world that you created. You have to do this as soon as possible and return to your original location before time is up. Because if you don't, you may not return to the real world. And you'll be stuck there forever. Isn't that such a strange concept? And how do you know how much time you have? Like, how do you know when time's up? All right, and lastly, we have a game called 11 Miles. Now, the rules of this game might seem very simple, but apparently it's the complete opposite of that. You need to get into your car and drive until you locate a specific road. Now, apparently you'll just know it's the right road when you get there. You'll just have this feeling. And for most people, it's a road that runs through a forest. Then continue to drive down that road until you reach the end. And if you do it successfully, you'll be granted a wish. But like I said, the actual drive won't be easy. There are these rules for what you can and can't do as you drive through those 11 miles. And I'll read them out to you right now, and they get weirder and weirder. So on mile 1, it says, if you get cold, you may...
Hey, Dark. Hey, Dark. She just called us old. I want that noted. She said these are games from the 80s that are really, 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 really old. Excuse me.
You turn your heater on. Mile 2. If you haven't already turned the heater on, now would be a good time to do so. If you do not, you might regret it later. Mile 3. Ignore any shadows in the trees, no matter how human they may seem. Mile 4. Ignore any voices you may hear, no matter how human they may seem. Mile 5. Ignore the vanishing trees, the sudden appearance of a lake, and the glowing of the moon. Mile 6. Ignore the returning of the trees, the disappearance of the stars, and the flickering of your headlights. If your radio turns on, ignore that too. Ignore it no matter what it says, but do not attempt to turn it off. Mile 7. Ignore, again, any voices you may hear, no matter how close they may sound. Do not turn around, even if the voices appear to be coming from the back seat. Mile 8. Slow down, but do not stop. Brake if your headlights flicker.
I'm sorry, but if I hear something coming from my back seat, my ass is out of there. No. And I'm not looking back there. No, I'm just going to just jump out running. Because no, first off, I wouldn't be playing the game to begin with, because this does not sound like a fun time. 2, I hear something talking in my back seat, and I got in my car with nobody in the back seat. My ass is not going to be looking in the back seat. Thank you very much.
But do not stop. No matter how cold it gets, do not stop. No matter who or what you might see, do not stop. Mile 9. Your vehicle may stall. Close your eyes. Attempt to restart your vehicle. Do not open your eyes no matter what you hear. Do not open your eyes. When your vehicle starts, hit the gas as fast as you can. When the mile is over, you may open your eyes. Mile 10. Do not look in your rear mirror. Mile 11. Your vehicle may lose power, but continue to move. Let it. Okay, so after this, you're done your 11 miles. So let's talk about this reward, they say. Drive until the road dead ends, and then you can relax. Imagine your deepest desire. It says that if your desire was an object, check your trunk. If it is smaller than that, check your back seat. If it is smaller than that, check your pockets. But if your desire was non-material, return to your life and check there. If it does not appear immediately, wait. Be patient. It will come. Now, when I first saw the title of this game, I immediately thought that maybe it was somehow associated with the classic children's book. That book came out in 1952, and then the movies followed that. And I'm sure you guys are familiar with it. The novel tells the story of a livestock pig named Wilbur and his friendship with a barn spider named Charlotte. When Wilbur is in danger of being slaughtered by the farmer, Charlotte writes messages praising Wilbur in her web in order to persuade the farmer to let him live. I used to love this story as a kid. Like, it was one of my favorite movies to watch as well. So in a way, I was kind of hoping this would be associated with the game, but it's not. It's totally different. So let's talk about the actual backstory of this creepy game. Charlotte Webster was a 7-year-old girl who lived in the 1400s.
I didn't even know there was a game called Charlotte's Web. That's pretty cool. Oh my god, you almost pooped your pants. That's interesting. I thought that game, like when she first said Charlotte's Web, I thought she was referring to the story. Apparently, it had nothing to do with the story. It's interesting.
Hundreds. Her mother was accused of being a witch and was burned at the stake. The younger girl watched her mother die in agony and escaped into the woods. Now, she couldn't have known what to do. She was so young and had no means of surviving. The legend says that she died in those woods and was picked apart by the animals that came across her body. So yeah, obviously the game stems from something much darker than just a pig and a spider. And because this little girl's name was Charlotte Webster, that's why it's called Charlotte's Web. Get it? So here's what the game says that you will need. Multiple flashlights, a second person, one mirror, a toy, 2 chairs, and a table. Step 1, you have to go into a room without windows. And if you must, you can black out any windows that you have. Not all of us have rooms in the house with absolutely no windows. Basically, only our closets are the place with no windows. So if you do have windows, make sure you throw like blankets or something over them. Set up chairs in the middle of the room with about 2 feet of space between them. Then put a mirror in front of the chairs facing them. Then set a table behind those chairs and make sure you can see the table when both of you are sitting down. So basically, as you're sitting in the chairs with the mirror in front of you, you should see the reflection of the table in the mirror, if that makes sense. Put the toy on the table in the space between the chairs. And then turn on your flashlights. These are just so that you can see. You have to turn off all the lights in the room. It should be pitch black aside from your flashlights, and you have to sit beside that person that you chose. Then you have to say, we want to play Charlotte's Web at the same time. Watch as Charlotte comes to take the toy. And if she is happy with the toy, then you can talk to her and ask questions. Now, the only way that you should be watching her take this toy is through the reflection of the mirror. The whole entire game, you have to be looking only through the mirror. And then when you're finished talking to her, you have to say, goodbye, Charlotte, at the exact same time. Best case scenario, she keeps the toy and wanders out of view of the mirror. If this happens, it's safe to end the game, turn on the lights, and go about your day. But this game does come with quite a few warnings, just like most creepy games do. Now, apparently Charlotte is a very gentle person, but it says only if she is pleased with the toy that you left her. It says she is a little kid, and just like any other little kid human, she will throw a tantrum if she is not pleased with it. Now, apparently this is really bad, so if she starts freaking out and screaming and crying, you have to end the game as soon as you can. And like I said, you have to say goodbye, Charlotte, at the exact same time, and everything will be over. It says do not continue if she is throwing a tantrum, because if you do, you are endangering your lives. It also says, in capital letters, by the way, do not under any circumstances turn around. Like I said, you have to view everything in the reflection of the mirror. You can only stare in the mirror for the entire game. No looking to the side of the mirror, behind you, or even at the person who is playing with you. And it says, if you look anywhere except the mirror, you're endangering your life, but not the person who's playing with you. So if the person you're sitting beside is following all the rules, they're going to be fine. So it's not like it will happen to both of you. It'll only happen to the person who stops obeying the rules, which I guess is kind of good, because then you don't have to like depend on the person that you're with if they mess up. She may be a little girl, but remember that she is a ghost, and ghosts are capable of remarkable things. Now, I have read some comments of people who have played this game, and they have had a pretty good experience. They say she's 7 years old, she's really fun and playful, and loved the toy they left to her. I think I've only read one bad experience from somebody where they said that she went up, looked at the toy, literally picked it up and threw it at the wall across the room. The toy shattered into tons of pieces, fell on the floor, and then Charlotte proceeded to fall on the ground and smacked her arms on the floor screaming. Apparently her scream was so loud that she had to cover her ears, and for days afterwards she still had the ringing in her ears from Charlotte's scream. So be careful, y'all. To end this game, it says don't let your guard down, but don't be afraid, because that will only scare her, and bad things will happen when ghosts themselves feel fear. So she will sense that you're afraid, and things will just go wrong from there. If you go into this with a really good attitude, you're happy, you're giggling, you're encouraging her, then she will also feel safe and comfortable. So everyone in this situation just has to be positive, and make sure you pick out a really good toy, because like I said, if you don't, watch out. I feel like if I was doing this, I would leave her like a cool Polly Pocket thing, maybe like a Bratz doll. I don't know, something like cool that I liked from my childhood, you know what I mean? Anyways, I don't encourage you guys to play these things. It's just interesting to hear about them. It's supposed to be performed during the winter months in order to obtain protection of your home throughout the coming year. And this game/ritual takes 3 days to perform. And basically, if you do it correctly and all things go well, this snowman is going to protect your house for the rest of the year, okay? You're going to be protected. Apparently, the earliest accounts of this game being played date back to the 4th century. Are you kidding me? Apparently, this all started in Ukraine and Russia. You apparently have to do this in the days between Christmas Eve and New Year's Day. But other sources say you can really do this any time of the year, as long as it's winter and as long as you have enough snow. This ritual works best for farmers and homeowners who keep animals or pets. But it says you can also do this if you're living in an urban apartment. But it might be harder to ensure that your snowman is not interrupted or disturbed during the 3-day duration of this ritual. Because when you do this, everything has to go right, or things will go very wrong. But they do say it's better to do this if you own a house. Now, on the instructions of this game/ritual, it literally says, warning, for your own safety, please read the entire document before attempting this ritual. And like I said, you have to follow the rules exactly, or things will go very bad. So let's get into what exactly you will need if you want to do this snowman game thing. You will need snow coverage of at least 3 inches.
Dude. I'm sorry, but the pictures she's showing of those snowmen are fucking terrifying. Like, those snowmen do not look like kid-friendly snowmen. Those things look like nightmare-inducing snowmen. That's nightmare fuel. What are you trying to do? Make sure that your kids never sleep again? Like, those things look terrifying. And why would you do this? Why? Why are you doing rituals? Yeah, you do that in Maine, and there's no telling what you will summon, because this is one of the most supernaturally active states in all of America. You do not want to do that here, ma'am.
Is with temperatures near or below freezing over a 3-day period. So it's very, very specific. 2 tree branches or wooden sticks, preferably forked at one end, obviously to look like a snowman's arm. You'll need string or rubber bands, plant materials such as dead leaves or dried grass, vegetable oils such as canola or olive oil, something from an animal such as a piece of fur, a cluster of feathers, etc. Without harming any animals, we don't do that. Scissors, a lock of your hair, and a drop of your tears. Not too much to ask, right? Right. All right. So let's get into the instructions for day 1, because like I said, this is going to go over 3 days. So make sure you're ready. At the edge of your property, build a snowman. It must be at least as tall as you are. So it says to be sure to set aside a lot of time and energy to build this snowman because it's going to be pretty big. It says you can ask your family or friends to help you so you don't have to do this all by yourself. It says ensure that the front of your snowman is facing away from your house. Use the tree branches on either side to form the snowman's arms, but do not give it a face just yet, because all the face stuff comes later. At sundown, take the plant material and the vegetable oil and the string or rubber bands and walk out to the snowman that you built and place all of your plant material into its left hand and put a rubber band around it so it stays there. Then dip your finger into the vegetable oil and press your finger into the left side of its face, and that's creating the left eye. As you do this, it says recite the following. Snowman, snowman, see my land, hollow soil on which we stand. Snowman, snowman, bless my home, guide me back if I ere roam. It says after you do this, return to your house and close all the curtains, lock all the doors. And it says make sure you go to bed before midnight. It says if you wake up in the middle of the night and hear any noises like shuffling or walking around or something outside your house, it says don't open your curtains, don't peek, stay in your bed and try to go back to sleep. The snowman is moving about your yard. It says the snowman is moving around your yard, judging if your land and home is worthy. All right, let's move on to day 2. If you wake in the morning and the snowman has returned to its original position, congratulations. That means your land and your home will be safe for the rest of the year. And if you wake up in the morning and your snowman is nowhere to be seen, it says leave your house and move somewhere far away. So obviously you want your snowman to still be in its original position. So on day 2 at sundown, take the animal material and the string or rubber bands out to the snowman. And then facing the snowman, put the animal fur or feathers or whatever it is into its right hand and secure it with the rubber band. Then press your finger into the right side of its face, and that is its right eye. As you do this, recite the following. Snowman, snowman, see my herd, pet and...
Exactly. What a judgmental snow person. If the snowman's moving around, I'm out of here. Right? Fuck that. No thank you. Easy. I swear to God, you better not be outside building this fucking snowman. Because I will not save you from this abomination. I don't know who built that snowman, but they need therapy. Because that is the creepiest looking ass snowman I have ever seen in my life. If that doesn't give you nightmares, I don't know what will.
Cattle, fish, and birds. Snowman, snowman, bless my flock. Grow them grass from thorn and rock. Afterwards, just like the previous night, return to your house, close all the curtains, lock all your doors, and go to bed before midnight. If you wake up in the middle of the night and hear movement or shuffling inside your house, this time. Don't peek, don't leave your bedroom, and try to go back to sleep. It says the snowman is moving around your house, judging if the animals in your care are worthy. So the snowman is like looking at your pets like, do I want to protect you this year? I don't know. All right, let's move on to day 3. This is the last day of this game. Once again, it says if you wake up in the morning and the snowman is outside in its original position, that means your pets will be protected for the rest of the year. Congratulations. But it says if you wake up in the morning and there's an inexplainable puddle of water near something your pet owns, like your dog's bed or your bird's cage, etc., it says you probably should look into pet insurance for the rest of the year. Oh my goodness. So on the 3rd day at sundown, take the scissors and the vial of tears out to the snowman. It says dip your finger into your tears and create a mouth of the snowman. Then with the scissors, cut a small piece of your hair and stuff it into the snowman's mouth. As you do this, recite the following. Snowman, snowman, see my breath, drawing ever unto death. Snowman, snowman, bless my heart, judge me whole and hence depart. Once again, afterwards, return to your home, close all your curtains, lock your door, and go to bed before midnight. This is the creepiest part. It says if you wake in the night and feel a cold, dark presence in your room, do not open your eyes. The snowman is standing over you, judging if your soul is worthy. So here's the conclusion of this whole game. It says if you wake up in the morning,
that's a no for me. I'm not gonna do something where some creepy ass snowman is gonna be standing over me in my sleep. I have enough trouble sleeping as it is. I don't need that shit. No. Nay, nay, I say. Absolutely not. I am no. No, no, no. No, 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 no. No, ma'am. No.
Congratulations. So meaning if you're still alive, good. And if the snowman has gone back out to its original position outside, it means you are worthy and everything in your life, yourself, your home, everything will be protected for the rest of the year. But there is a warning. All these instructions says, warning, to date, there are no surviving accounts of what happens to someone who was judged as unworthy. Take from that what you will. And then apparently that night at sundown, it says, go over to the snowman and approach it only from behind. Do not walk around to face it and demolish the snowman entirely. So completely destroy it. It says to break the tree branches as many times as possible and scatter the snow around the yard as evenly as you can. Make sure that no trace of this snowman remains. And you're supposed to say absolutely nothing while you're doing this whole thing. Once the snowman is demolished, the game is complete. It says enjoy your year of peace and prosperity. Use it well for when the days grow short and your luck runs thin. You may find yourself looking anxiously for the next steep snowfall. Oh, that's so creepy. Now, obviously, this is all just a creepypasta game. It's not real. I would never want to encourage anybody to do rituals and stuff like this. The only reason why I'm telling you this one specifically is because it's about a snowman, and it's kind of silly. All right, so the first game is called the Dark Reflection Ritual. Now, while I was looking up this game on pretty much all of the websites, it said play at your own risk in like capitals. So whenever you see that, it's probably best not to play it. It actually said that this one is the most dangerous of all of the games. So let's go through how many players you need. I'm looking down because I have my laptop. It says all the rules and stuff because obviously I can't really memorize all of this stuff. I did not invent this game. We're just talking about it together today. So it says you need at least one person to play this game. So you could play it on your own if you really wanted to, but it's better to play this in a group. Here are the things you need. You need a mirror. It may be of any type or shape. It's only necessary quality.
Yeah, but knowing your luck, you gotta melt the snowman, and it'd be like, ah, I'm immortal snow, and you can't melt me.
Is that it must be a mirror that you are willing to break. So don't use grandma's antique mirror. Use a mirror that you don't mind.
Why? Why? Do you know nothing of mirror magic, Snowflake? Because mirror magic is not something you want to be playing with, ma'am. Mirror magic is old, for one. For two, it's been around since the Middle Ages. For three, it's a bad idea. Mirror magic is not something you want to just You don't. Just don't do it. Like, could you not? Maybe. Like, don't be out here breaking mirrors and shit. Like, it's not, no. Like, you need to go research mirror magic and then come back and tell me it's a good idea to be out here just breaking mirrors and shit. While summoning things, by the way. Yes, let me break the thing that I opened a portal in because that's a great idea. Also, I watched a really good movie with the littles today. It was one of them was Borderlands. Then I watched a good horror movie, and it's called what was the name of that one? I rented it. I'm trying to remember the name of it. The Painted Ones. The Painted, I think it's called The Painted. It's about these paintings that were like possessed. It was a really good movie. So look up The Painted. It's on Amazon Prime, and it's terrifying. Like, that movie legit scared me. I do too. Easy Street. I miss Blockbuster and Movie Gallery and GameStop when they used to have movies. Movie Gallery had a lot of good stuff back in the day. Like, they had better deals than Blockbuster a lot of the time. And my skein of yarn just fell the hell apart.
Mind breaking. Maybe it's an old one you don't really care about, just not like a family heirloom or something, you know? You need a candle and matches or a lighter. So you only need 3 things. This doesn't require a lot. Now here are the instructions. It says begin after sunset, but no less than 6 hours until dawn. Pick up your mirror and look at your reflection in the eye for 3 to 5 seconds. Focusing your attention on the negative energy held within the mirror. And then hold the mirror right close to your face and breathe on it so that it fogs up, which I have done before and I probably never will again. Actually, I'll never want to look my reflection in the eye after this. So it says repeat this step for as many players as you have in your group. So you pass the mirror around in a circle, look at yourself, and breathe on the mirror. So basically, everybody has to do that. After all the players have successfully breathed on the mirror, light the candle and hold it to the mirror surface. So you're basically just putting the candle like right in front of the.
So basically, you want a bunch of mouth breathers to mouth breathe all over the same mirror and share their stank ass breath. For why? Hey, Fox. Yeah, I miss going to the theater and going to theater. 2 different things. Going to the theater, as in going to see movies and like gorging myself on popcorn and sugary snacks, and going to theater, which is like musicals, plays, like Shakespeare plays, movie plays where they play acted out on stage, You also have stand-up comedians that did shows, like full-length shows, kind of like what Tyler Perry does, or did. Things like that. Those were good times. I also miss going to the drive-in theater where you could park and you get this little speaker box you could mount to your car, and you could order your popcorn and snacks and they'd bring it to your car. And you could pay $5 and sit all night long and they would play different movies. Like, you may go to see this one movie, but if you pay $5, it's like a marathon night. Where if you paid the $5, you could watch all the movies they played that night and sit as long as you wanted. Like, it was $2 if you were just watching one movie. If you paid the $5, it covered all the movies they were playing that night. Oh yeah, the theater we have here, they have gourmet food. They have a chef at this theater where they don't even have chicken fingers or any kind of fried food on the menu at all. It's like all gourmet food and it's made to order and then brought to you to your seat where you have a table and reclining leather chairs. And like, these things are heated. They also massage, and like, you can recline them. And they bring you like gourmet mac and cheese, which their lobster mac and cheese is delicious. They also have your lobster bake, crab legs, like a lot of seafood, really. And they have steak, they have filet mignon, they have T-bone, they have ham hock, like the hamahawk steaks or tomahawk steaks, not hamahawk. I was thinking about ham hock for some reason. No, they're called tomahawk steaks, where it still has that big bone still in it. Um, like steamed veggies and I mean, they have some good shit. Yes, ribeye. Yeah. I want my chicken tendies right. Chicken tendos.
The mirror so that the flame is basically touching it. And once the candle has burned part of the glass, you're going to blow it out and put it.
The problem with that theater, though, is that it's extremely expensive. Like, just one person, if you eat and watch a movie there, you're looking at paying upwards of $100 per person. At the other theater that I can actually afford to go to, you can pay $20 for your ticket, but they have chicken nuggies and they have mac and cheese, chicken tenders, cheeseburgers, stuff like that. I ordered the chicken tenders and french fries and a side of mac and cheese most of the time. And then I think maybe you can get away with like $30 or $40 per person. It's not that bad comparatively, not compared to the $100 to $120 a person one.
Put it down. And then, like I said at the beginning, you're going to break the mirror. Once it's broken, you're just going to leave the pieces of the mirror where they are. So do not touch these broken pieces. Just leave them and evacuate the area immediately. So then it talks about what happens next, and it's actually really freaky. After you run away from the mirror, bad luck will proceed to follow you throughout the night. Incidents will likely begin small, like breaking a nail or not being able to find your car keys, but will grow in severity as the evening wears on. So because you broke this mirror, you're just going to have constant bad luck all night, and it starts.
No, thank you. I have bad enough luck without intentionally getting bad luck. Thank you very much. Thanks, but no thanks. Like here, voluntarily give yourself bad luck. No thanks. I'm good. Yes, thank you. Right? Yeah, I'm good. Like, I have bad enough luck without, like, intentionally doing that to myself. No, I'm good. Thanks. Let me look at something real quick. All right, guys. I am done for the day. I'm tired. I have an early morning tomorrow. And many things to do, unfortunately. So tonight would be a short night for us. So I am going to go to bed and get ready for the day tomorrow, which is going to be a really long day. So kind of not looking forward to it. See you on tomorrow's. We will cover some more of this tomorrow, some more paranormal games. We may do a spirit talker session, which could be fun, you know. Who knows what we'll get into tomorrow. But either way, whatever we do, I'm sure it'll be fun. Nighty night, everybody, and welcome, Gray Spirit Fox. Bye.